Sorry about that, but my card ran out of room. Where was I? It was the Navy. The German Navy is not significant. I know people are going to be going, what? What are you talking about? They had the Bismarck. We got the Sink the Bismarck. We got, that song. No, that's not how it goes. I know how it goes, actually. But my kid's favorite. It's funny. My son, he's 6. He loves that song, along with Battle in New Orleans and all that stuff. Anyway, we just watched Bridge Too Far not long ago, my son and I. Oh yeah, good stuff. Anyway, way off track. But you got the German Navy. It is represented by an event chit that you use, and then you gotta put away for a while. You roll a die, and then it goes back up here, and then it appears a little bit later. Because the German Navy really isn't on par with the British Navy as far as size. You still get the subs, and the subs can help out. Either they can help out that German Navy chit, or they can go into strategic warfare. And I haven't decided which is better because, well, frankly, I haven't done it yet. So that's that. And I don't know. I went over the amount of scenarios. In the scenario book, there's also developer's notes, and the designer's notes, actually more important, is really quite good. It really gives you the thinking process behind it, how he talks about this as a force projection game, and how he wants to keep it up higher, at a higher level, that even though there are things going on at the lower level, like at that battle that I showed you earlier, and by the way, I just set up another one here, that you gotta still use your mind to pretend that something's going on. I think of it as, I've been in role-playing since the 70s. I actually was involved a little bit in Pathfinder. One of my ideas actually found its way into the new Pathfinder system. And, yay me, right? Anyway, you get, 2 units, let's say they don't do anything as far as you roll, nothing happens. You got to kind of use your mind that there was a battle there, and both sides incurred some losses, but were able to replenish them, or they were both equally weakened, and nothing, so there was no strategic consequences to it. But there is a supply thing, and I wanted to show you this. Let's say this is the situation after the turn is over. The Germans are surrounded there in Stalingrad, and they go to the supply phase of the turn, and they don't have anything, so they immediately get, oh boy, sorry for the movement, I should have had this ready, but they get, where is it? No, that's not it. They get a low supply chip. There they are. Next turn, now there's some minuses to that. The next turn, they don't get out, and the situation looks very similar, let's say. They go to no supply. When they're at no supply, I believe at that point, hang on. At no supply, you automatically get moved down 1, and I could be wrong. It might be you just go to no supply, and then the next turn you lose, you get weakened. But either way, once you're at no supply, you get knocked down to a damaged unit or reduced. Then if another turn goes by and you're still not free, you still cannot trace a line. And by the way, if these were open and let's say a unit was here and here or something like that, or here, this would be a contiguous supply line, and therefore you could take the chit off, although your unit is still reduced. But that being said, we'll put these units back. If you go yet another turn and you're reduced and you're at no supply and you hit that supply phase, you're dead. Uh-oh. that piece just lost. Oh well. Have to glue that on later. That piece is gone. So what it does is it's not like some games where you set up gamey scenarios where you're trying to get people out of supply, so then the turn ends and then their unit gets destroyed immediately. It takes a while to destroy them, so it ends that gaminess, but yet it still punishes them. And then you get situations where there's pockets of units, and there were pockets of units. The Russians were had pockets all over the place. The Germans were pockets of units at the end of the war. So that stuff happened, and a lot of those units held out for a while. The French, of course, had pockets, and you know, everybody, it happens, and this game has that, and I really like that. It's probably one of my favorite supply scenarios, and it's not so bulky, crazy supply like some games. By the way, I should tell you a little bit of my history on war playing. I, of course, did the Risk and Axis and Allies when I was a kid, and then I did some Advanced Third Reich. I just recently tried to look at the rules for A World at War, and my head almost exploded when I realized how long they were, and very complex. And I've looked at a lot. I just don't know if I can handle all those pieces. But that's, you know, to each his own. And Axis Empires, TK and DS, this author worked on those, and those are, by the way, they're getting an expansion to make them a little more detailed in the Navy side, which I think will help appeal to people that like me that want to move ships around. This game is Europe. I don't care about the ships as much, frankly. If I'm in the Pacific, I want ships. Over here, I don't care as much. I'm more about the land battle. So, I'm going to show you one more player's aid. This is a flow chart. It looks crazy. It looks, in the first few times you look at it, you're like, ah! But it's actually a really good flowchart. I bet I'm going to run out of time here. It tells you what to do, so you go to the first segment, and then you just keep following it all the way through, and pretty soon your turn is done. And I think that is it. There are a lot of little rules that I forgot. I'm sure I forgot events and you know kinds of the littler units and conditional events and event markers and things like that I forgot. And I know that the battle was really simplified, and it can be a lot more involved when you have lots of units moving around and doing things. But other than that, I think it's, forgive me, but I think it's a fairly evolved game. I think games have come a long way. I remember playing Rise and Fall, or was it Rise and Decline of the Third Reich? And that was just kind of, I don't know. I thought it was kind of clunky. At the time, it was what there was. That's what it was. And in Axis and Allies was totally kid-oriented. I know some people played as adults, and I still will, but you know, it's just, there's not much strategy really. It's just rolling dice and blasting away. This has got somewhere. This has kind of got the more simple stuff, not of an Axis and Allies, but something a little bit more slick. Is that the way? Everything's integrated. Everything flows together. I know I'm looking at the wrong spot. Everything flows together. All the combat fits together. It's not multiple systems. Everything, the economics fits in with the combat, fits in with the activation of units. Everything just kind of fits together, and you can tell that the designer, you know, he's worked on a few of the other big games in this scale, and he